Hello, everyone, and welcome to my world. We're watching today Deutsche Welle documentation about why skilled immigrants leaving Germany. And I'm really interested in that because in my own country, I always get reviewed as a foreigner. And it is, a little bit tough if you're growing up fluently in German, but everybody want to place you to Gambia or other places around the world, but not acknowledging that you are from Germany. So I'm really interested why the skilled immigrants want to leave Germany, but I actually can assume that it's because of the far right movement going more popular, and also that the treatment in Germany is really harsh to immigrants in general. And that's why let's see what they acknowledge here and why the skilled immigrants want to leave.
Germany has a huge problem. Its population is aging fast. There are now around 2 workers for every pensioner. The working population is shrinking as hundreds of thousands of baby boomers go into retirement. Germany's Federal Employment Agency says the country needs 400,000 skilled immigrants a year.
In Germany, we need skilled workforce. We need additionally skilled workforce from abroad.
But whether immigrants feel welcome is a whole other question.
Meine Damen und Herren,
Die Mehrheit der Menschen will weniger Migration. Und wir wollen nicht überrannt werden mit offenen Grenzen.
So,
Okay, first of all, she's a lesbian in a far right movement party in Germany. Second, she lived in Switzerland, so in working in Germany. So she would be also deported if they talking like that. And the third reason is her own wife is an immigrant in Switzerland. So she don't want at all to have immigrants in Germany, but still not living either way in Germany. So what she just saying, it's nonsense because she's actually talking about herself. But they are talking about other people who are looking different than her. So, and I have no idea how the wife of her can be with her because the wife is coming from an Asian country and she have my skin color or even darker. So no idea how this gonna happen, but sometimes we are aligned with our history, I would say, in certain way. But this is for me just crazy because it's making the people over there really uncomfortable when the politician are saying things like that, and also immigrants who are not really understanding. They thinking they are the good immigrants, but they completely don't understand this party in Germany. There is nothing as this good immigrant. You're an immigrant and that's all. They don't classify if you're good or bad. That's not the point, and everybody get tricked by that. You should reconsider that.
is Germany attractive enough for skilled immigrants?
In India, when I used to work, I was almost busy. I had a lot of, let's say, like work from office, so there was not enough time for me.
In Brasilien, das ist schon schwierig. Du brauchst 2 Krankenhäuser zu arbeiten, damit du einen guten Lohn bekommst. Und hier, das ist die Möglichkeit. Und nicht nur das, also du kannst auch deine Familie unterstützen.
I can move to Netherlands and still keep the position I have. I will be very close to Germany, so whenever I'm needed in the headquarters, it's just a couple of hours away.
Now, before we hear more from Pankaj, Taiza, and Ozan, here are the 3 top reasons why skilled workers move to Germany. Career opportunities. They want to gain experience or get ahead. Number 2, safety. And rounding out the top 3, the good healthcare system. Believe it or not, salaries are in 4th place. Other reasons include its democracy, good education system, and clean air. My name is Chiponda, and I've been living in Germany for the last 17 years. So I'm curious about what other skilled immigrants make of this country.
I'm Pankaj.
So for me, it's since yeah, German by myself and growing up in the system and all the stuff, I think our school system still can improve, and we are not that flexible. And I think it's limiting a lot of opportunities for children in Germany. Then, of course, the opportunities what we have, but when you have opportunities in Germany, if you're not in an international environment, it can be really harsh. Germans can be really harsh at the workplace and putting you always in your place if you looking in a certain way. So, and if you're not used to that, how you get treated or mistreated just because of your ethnicity, you need to be really careful which job environment you choose. So, just from my experience and what I'm hearing from other people around Germany, and the jobs, of course, the payments are higher. So, but it's depending where in Germany you're living. The cost of living can be high as well. So it's not comparable of the things. Of course, if the people are comparing to their own home country, then of course it's a higher payment receiving there. But it's still, for the conditions, it's still, yeah, so I would say, um, because mental health is really affected by the people, by the surrounding, how they're treating you, and it is a tough environment to really get success. Even you speak fluently German, so they will always doubt you. Okay, where are you from? But where you're original from? And just saying that you're from Germany or somewhere else, it's sometimes not good enough. So, but yeah, let's see what the others are saying now.
From India. I came here 2.5 years ago with my family. I work in IT industry and I'm planning to stay here longer and apply for the citizenship.
Ich heiße Thaisa, ich bin Au-pair-Schwester hier in Deutschland seit 2016 und ich fühle mich sehr wohl hier.
I'm Ozan. I came to Germany 3 years ago from Turkey. I work as a business developer. Now I'm planning to leave Germany.
3 people, 3 stories. Making it in Germany isn't a walk in the park. For one, just finding a one-stop shop to help you navigate the immigration rules is a challenge. We struggle to find one. Right, Marta?
Yes, it's very confusing.
German bureaucracy is a lot of paperwork, and if you miss out on something, let's say like if you get late to your appointment even for 5 minutes, you will miss that appointment. It's quite, annoying to get the things done. You need to wait for 3 weeks or 4 weeks, and you just have to wait. You cannot do anything. You cannot do anything in that case. So yeah, you have to wait.
Wow. When I moved to Germany in 2007, I didn't have to wait too long. Many things seemed easier.
It was quite difficult to get an apartment in the very beginning. I came with my family, so I was looking for an apartment which suits our family.
Over half the people looking for a new home have been searching for more than a year, and most of them say they can't find accommodation because what's on offer is just too expensive. So for Pankaj, it was a catch-22. You need to show proof that you have a registered address to be able to access government services. And you can only get that from your property owner. An Airbnb or hotel don't count because they are considered commercial accommodation.
I was getting a lot.
And then you have to buy also there, not from the country. And especially you have the same for black people as well. If they're going there, even they're growing up in Germany, maybe on the phone, if you talk with them, that's fine. But when you're going there in person, you quickly can be denied. And this is, it's structural racism, what the people are also facing in Germany, what can be really, really harsh or really difficult. But here in Portugal, for example, it's the same. It can be really difficult for people from Pakistan or for Indian to get accommodation in a certain place because they have here around a certain stigma that they're living with a lot of people in the house and not taking care of the house, etc. So that's why even if they just being a family, it's really hard for them to find an apartment here. So, and yeah, this is more and more common, and I believe in Germany it's the same.
Lot of letters from the school because it is mandatory for a children who is more than 6-year-old to go to the school. As I was not having a home, so where could I send him? So I was just trying to find out an apartment, and I was not finding an apartment, and I was getting a letters from the school again and again.
Pankaj's employer rented an apartment for him, but not everyone is so lucky.
I have my colleague, she was trying to find an apartment, she's a German, but she could also not find the apartment. So it's not like for foreigners, it's for everyone.
But for many foreigners, the language barrier makes it even harder.
I don't find it very welcoming when you object or refuse to give service in another language. It's not only a language barrier, but it's like an imposition, like they impose this to you. And I'm really having difficulty to understand this, actually.
So much for Germany's so-called welcome culture, Willkommenskultur.
Do you speak German to Italian colleagues or French colleagues?
Alo, merhaba. Merhaba, bir tane su olabilir mi? Tabii.
The first thing I look when I'm buying a service is if they offer a foreign language with their services. That's the first thing I look at. It's not because I don't want to learn German.
People are expecting you to be at their level with their language, and from day 1 to 2, suddenly you switch and you become one of them. It's not that simple.
Am ersten Tag hier, ich habe überhaupt nichts verstanden. Während des Arbeitszeit also, habe ich alles gelernt. Mein Anerkennungsprozess war so, ich habe gar keinen Schulblock gehabt, dann habe ich alles im OP gelernt. Arbeiten hier, das ist eine Herausforderung. Viele Momente habe ich gedacht, nee, das schaffe ich nicht oder das ist zu viel für mich, ich will wieder nach Hause, das geht nicht. Das habe ich so lange überlegt, ja.
But Germany desperately needs nurses. Around 1 in 6 healthcare workers isn't German, and the need for them is rising by the year. If it weren't for its foreign workers, Thaisa's hospital would have to reduce its bed capacity by a third.
Also am Anfang war nur so für mich so, ja, das ist meine einzige Chance, ich kann nicht so vermasseln, ich muss richtig machen und langsam habe ich wirklich verstanden, so, dass es wirklich Personalmangel gibt und die brauchen Leute überall. Wenn du unzufrieden bist irgendwo, dann kannst du für andere Arbeitgeber sich bewerben und dann kriegst du einen anderen Job. Das geht ja. Gefällt mir. Gefällt mir. Eigentlich das.
I think actually this is around Europe everywhere that, especially the social sector, it's suffering a lot because they also not get well paid. So, and I think this is the other issue where the Nordic countries like Norway, Sweden, and Finland is doing a little bit more better, that they really advocating for have social workers, teachers, caregivers, nurses, and all that stuff a better pay because they running the system in the country. And this is, or I never lived in these countries, but this is what I hear from them. But in other countries like Portugal or in Germany, they also need those workforces. But what the European Union at the moment is doing, they're really trying to not have any foreigners coming in, any refugees and all that stuff, to make it really miserable here. Like for Portugal, they just ruled that the to get the citizenship card and all those things, it takes 10 years. And before there was, I think it was 3 or 5 years. So, and a lot of countries in Europe going far right at the moment. I think the first progressive country at the moment is Spain, who is really trying to do something for the refugees, something for femicides and all that kind of things. At least the thing what I'm hearing from Deutsche Welle or other news channels. And we have an issue in Germany, and we're going more far right in Germany, and can be really dangerous for immigrants there if this going more and more too far right, because with our histories we know what we are capable of, and people need to understand that Germans can be violent, really really violent, and I think in general, as a German person, Germans should try to understand that we shouldn't repeat our history.
When I came here, it was quite shocking because in India we used to talk a lot, even though in workplaces also we chit chat a lot, we talk a lot. But in Germany, I noticed like when they work. So there is not much. Let's say people do not talk much. So it was very difficult to get into the system, to get to talk to the people.
Well, Germans aren't known for small talk, and I wouldn't recommend dropping in on anyone unannounced either.
When I first moved here, of course, my expectation was to make a big leap in my life. I thought I would be more in the center, but then I felt more outside, actually. So, of course, it leaves you a feeling of dissatisfaction and frustration.
Among 53 countries, Germany ranks 5th from the bottom when it comes to making friends. My tip? Lower your expectations when it comes to making friends fast in Germany.
I need to say for him it's a little bit easier because he's Turkish. So we have a huge Turkish population. So I would say that he would get in touch with German Turkish people easily because we have all the stores and all that kind of thing. So but in general, if you're moving out of a country on your own, it is sometimes way more harder to make friends with the people, for the majority from the country, than with foreigners people, because normally what the curse is when you're going to another country, you always try to link with your native and with your language. So it's the same when I came to Portugal. The first thing what I did was talking with German people. My environment was German. My workplace, the colleagues, they was speaking German. So this was the first time. I was a little bit isolated kind of from the Portuguese people. I always try to go into the culture and all that, but I'm feeling here really nice because the Portuguese mentality, it's a little bit more friendly than the German one. So but here it's really hard to make friends in Portugal because the Portuguese people are so passive in their character that they would always go for invitation. If you invite them, they will go there, but not expect the same vice versa, that they will always invite you. This is not a fact. It's more that they would go there when you invite them and say, yeah, I would like to join the time and all that stuff. So I have good Portuguese friends, but in the same time, they would never invite me to anything because they have this little life around them and how they knew, and it's also a poor country, so they don't know or don't make that much activities, even you see them. But it's a little bit hard to connect with Portuguese people in general, but in the same it's in Germany. So, but actually, I would say in Germany to connect with people is a little bit easier than in Portugal.
And with the community here, it was a lot easier. They would show me things. They would give me suggestions, even during a small talk. They would say, yeah, have you tried this one? Have you heard about this? Not necessarily I would prefer to connect with these people just because they could speak my mother tongue, but I find it quite relaxing and refreshing actually.
Kart da ödeyebilir miyim?
Finding a place in German society looks different for everyone, and a lot has to do with language.
Das Leben ist für mich einfacher jetzt, dass ich die Sprache kann, als am Anfang. Mein Zuhause ist jetzt hier, weil ich eine Familie habe. Und dann fühle ich mich auch wie zu Hause. Ja. Aber Heimat ist noch Brasilien.
But sometimes Thaisa is made to feel like an outsider.
Die Leute, die wissen ganz genau, dass du nicht hier gehörst, ja, du kommst von woanders. und dich so ein bisschen anders so behandelt. Das habe ich erlebt, ja.
Discrimination is a major problem. Statistics show that 3 out of 5 blacks and other people of color living in Germany have already experienced racism here. I should know. And it makes Germany less attractive despite the fact that companies desperately need skilled workers.
After 1.5 years, I was looking for some senior kind of role as well. So then I started looking for change, and I got an opportunity which is like permanent remote now. At the same time, my wife needs to know the language first. Without knowing the language, it's very difficult for her to get a role. And to learn the language, she needs to go in the morning, like 4 or 5 hours classes.
I wanted to go forward with the language first, and then I will pursue my IT course from the institute, and then I will continue with the job in IT field.
So there, it was that she's a math teacher, and we have also a shortage in for teachers in Germany as well. But the thing is, if you're coming from the global south, normally your degree is not recognized in Germany, and this make it a little bit more, not a little bit, really difficult for those people that they are teachers or have a higher education to suffer a lot in Germany, because then they're starting to being cleaning ladies or doing other job where you don't need to have this high degree. And I think we should being open to acknowledge there's other countries, how they're doing math and all that stuff, that it's similar to us, or at least making a program where we can accept their degree in our countries that they can teach. Because with her knowledge as a math teacher, at least, because Indian was colonized by England as well, is that they speaking English, and they could, or she could provide the math teaching class in international school. So this would be possible to do. And I think we should acknowledge those kind of areas and trying to see, okay, where are the difference, like teaching math in India and in Germany, and then align those specific things, but maybe to do that more in a way that she just need to have an exam or something like that. But acknowledge that she did studied, she is a math teacher, and she have the knowledge about that. So this is how integration should be more made up, and how integration should be taking place in a certain way.
Stay at home and work, and can, let's say, drop the children in the morning to the kindergarten or to the school. For me, it's good, yeah.
For years, Germany has had a hot job market for IT experts, and Pankaj was able to easily switch jobs because he has a blue card. That's a special visa for highly skilled workers. Engineers, doctors, nurses, teachers, scientists, and IT experts are among the professions with a severe labor shortage that qualify. And IT experts can get a blue card even without a university degree. Once a person has a blue card, they can move easily to most EU countries as long as they have a job offer. Europe needs workers.
This is nice to know, because I never know about this blue card, because of course, as a European citizen, for me, traveling is super easy. And especially when they are in the European Union, you just can move from one country to another, just need to apply for social security and all those kind of things, but you can immediately work there. And different now to England, but yeah. But in general, this is something I didn't know with the blue card, but I will definitely keep this in mind because it's super interesting.
With the blue card, the mobility is not a problem. I will just transfer my blue card to Netherlands. And plus, they have some advantages too for, I think they call us expats. I'm planning to enjoy those additional offerings. Germany was a good choice for the time being. It is safe. you are treated equal as long as you speak the language. You have.
I don't like the term experts because some other people get called experts. So he's pretty white, even he's from Turkey, but he have certain privileges because he have blue eyes and he's a white skin. So and he's a man. If he's straight, I don't know, but you have certain privileges with this coming in if you searching for a job, if you travel around, if you have this blue visa, if they calling you an expert, so that you get actually really yeah, have an advantage because some other people are not called expert and moving around and doing different kind of stuff, and I think they are actually destroying the economy in the country because they putting up higher salaries and higher economy values. Like if you're going to coffee or other places like here in Lisbon, we have a lot of experts and they driving the housing incredible high because they can afford, but the Polish people can't afford because they have not the good minimum wage and all this kind of stuff. And this is need to be considered. So that's why to call themselves an expert, it's yeah, European people like that, but at the same time, it's yeah, I wouldn't call that. It's something. Yeah, we should think about this term and how we have an impact in environment.
Purchasing power, you have the sense of security, it's quiet, it's orderly. Where I'm coming from, it's quite chaotic. I really needed this, and sometimes when I'm back to Turkey, I find myself, oh my god, I missed home. And by home, I mean Hanover.
Hanover, this is my city. I think you just say that. I was actually thinking that okay, this is where he said where he was walking around in the green area. Was like, I think I know that, but now he said it. It's like okay, feeling home in Hanover. That's nice.
Ich bekomme ständig Fragen von Brasilianern, die hier nach Deutschland arbeiten wollen. Seit einem Jahr ungefähr schreibe ich also ständig Contents beim Nussfeld, also auf Instagram.
Thaisa is turning a hobby into a side hustle.
Ich bin auch in Deutschland gekommen als Pfleger und ich bin auch so vermittelt worden.
Sou enfermeira na Alemanha e, é claro, vantagens de trabalhar na Alemanha.
Ich weiß ganz genau, was passiert, also ich weiß ganz genau, wie funktioniert. Ich finde auch nicht so fair, wie alles läuft. Ich will, dass dieser Prozess besser wird. Zum Beispiel, wenn die Leute hierher kommen, die haben danach gar keine Unterstützung mehr quasi. Wenn die zum Beispiel schon einen Arbeitgeber haben, manche Firmen sagen, okay, ihr seid schon da, fertig, mein Teil ist schon zu Ende. Ich will die ganze Gruppe von mir, also vom Nussfeld, ich will betreuen. Und wenn die zufrieden sind, dann sage ich, okay, ich bin fertig jetzt.
And it's not just about support at the beginning. Immigrants need to understand how salaries are taxed. A nurse will earn 3,433 euros on average. And if they don't have children, 417 euros goes to income tax and 723 euros to Social Security. The tax burden and Social Security deductions are high, so their take-home pay will be 2,293 euros. And from that, they'll need to cover rent, groceries, and clothes, and other expenses too. This could be a reason why 2 out of 5 skilled immigrants in Germany are somewhat or very unhappy with their financial situation. And yet, healthcare and education are practically free here. That's largely thanks to the high taxes and Social Security deductions. But other countries...
But it's depending also in the state you are living in, because they are separated to each other, and we have, of course, German laws, but in the same time we have separated laws how we treat certain things, and not everything is free in certain states in Germany. So for us it was free. We got also really a lot of assistance, but other things like paying for the books and all the kind of things, you need to pay for them for your kids. And you don't get if you have a certain amount of money, like what was just said, you are not eligible for the taxes. No, sorry, you are not eligible to get money from the government to buy like books. So books, school books, are not for free, and this can be expensive if you are a single mom and earning not that high payment, and especially if you're going for part-time. If you're a single mom going for part-time, you will suffer in Germany a lot. And there are assistance, of course. You get children money and coverage for if you're employed, that you get social security and all these kind of things, that you can go to the dentist, that you can go to the doctors. And if you're getting sick, then you don't lose any money like here in Portugal, so you get paid, fully paid each month. But this is still something to consider. You need to pay for all the expenses you have. And if you're not to get the money from the government, you need to have a higher salary, because you need to pay for your rent. You need to pay for certain stuff in the school, for the materials for your child. So these are not for free. This is expenses which are additional to the things what is happening. And yeah, we need to think always, okay, what is the reason what I want to work and in which area I want to work. And you always can also apply for apprenticeship, but when you're doing the apprenticeship, you definitely need to have a certain amount of German language to really have this things going on, because everything, the material and all that kind of things, are all in German.
Countries, like the Netherlands, have lower taxes for expats.
The reason why I'm choosing now Netherlands is that it's open for foreigners, and not only Rotterdam, but all around Netherlands, it really feels like it is more welcoming. I just want to also underline that this is not open to immigrants, but when you have a privilege like a blue card, or if you are a skilled employee, it's easier for you to start a life in this kind of countries. I know my privileges, and I know these privileges are more beneficial here. I'm even planning on buying a new apartment.
Germany has the lowest home ownership rate in the EU. More than half of the people are renters, because it is much harder to finance a home purchase entirely through a bank loan.
For the time being, my plan is to stay in Rotterdam.
3 out of 5 single people who want to move to Germany plan to stay permanently. For those with families, it is 3 out of 4, maybe because education is free here.
My children, at least I want them to, complete the school here and the university here.
Also ich fühle mich wohl hier in die Lische.
The keyword for Rotterdam is accessible. The connectedness feeling is my biggest expectation here.
Oh, you don't have it.
So, is Germany attractive enough for skilled immigrants? Well, I'm applying for German citizenship. But having gone through some of the challenges that Ozan, Thaisa, and Pankaj have mentioned, I have a couple of suggestions for Germany. 1. Provide better support to skilled immigrants during their first few years in the country. 2. Reduce bureaucracy. Simplify the paperwork, like tax declarations, for instance. 3. Reward skilled immigrants who choose to learn German. No one should feel like they are losing time or money when investing in the one language that would make their lives easier here. So how attractive do you think Germany is for skilled immigrants? We want to hear from you in the comments.
I liked it because there was a different perspective. So my perspective is from a black German, growing up in Germany and going through the system and all the kind of things, and choosing to not live in Germany anymore. So I'm a little bit biased. I always would say, don't go. Not everything is flowers, everything's good. But if you have a high resilience, if you don't care about much what the others thinking about you, or kind of certain things, or the high discrimination level, or maybe your country is even more homophobic or racist or whatever, then it is a good choice, especially if you're going to parts in Germany where they have a higher immigration. So Frankfurt would be nice, but it's also expensive. Cologne is really nice. I heard a lot of good stuff from Cologne. Berlin's okay. It is tough. You need to really know what you want to do in Berlin and which goal you have in Berlin. But Berlin is also the capital city, so it is not you don't need to have a certain level of German, but English is driving in Berlin as well. So of course, additionally to have German is always the best. Hamburg is one. So the biggest cities normally have also higher immigration. If you're going to a little town or something like that, it can be sometimes a little bit tough. To get included in all these kind of things, to feeling welcomed in that. Of course, I think the Netherlands way more welcome than Germany. So because we are always a little bit suspicious from our culture, and we need to first gain conversation, trust, and all that kind of things because of our past, because of snitching and all the kind of thing. I think this is related to how we was raised by the boomers, because in Germany, boomers are the kids of the survivors of the Nazi time. So we need to consider that. And like my mom now, she's a child after the war. So, and my grandparents have been in the war. So this is also historical. We need to consider this kind of things because it's always important to understand where the mentality is coming from. But of course, I would say if it's not going more far right, and people would acknowledge more that we have structural sexism, structural racism, and all kind of things, that Germany could be a nice place, because Germany is by nature a really beautiful country. But society-wise, we need to still have a lot to do. So, if you liked the content and the reaction, a thumb up is appreciated. If you didn't subscribe my channel, I would also love that. And of course, hit in a comment if you're planning to go to Germany. If yes, and you need assistance, just write me. I can help. Or if you want to go to other, if you want to come to Portugal or something like that. If you have any questions, just let me know, and we can talk about that. And yeah, now do a hot coffee, hot tea, or hot chocolate. I see you soon, and I wish you a wonderful day, good afternoon, or good evening. See you. Bye bye.